So if you have been sewing for a very long time, you would have come across this problem. And the problem is this: you have a sewing project, a project that shouldn't normally take you hours to make, but then the material you have for your sewing project is a little bit stretchy. It doesn't work with your machine. You've tried everything that you possibly can. You even went ahead to suspect that your machine might be defective because you don't just know why your machine is refusing to sew this fabric. First of all, the fabric is stretchy, and most regular machines cannot really handle stretchy fabric without having to cause you a lot of pain. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you 2 things that I did do to overcome this kind of problem. Yes, I get it. I've been there before. It could be very, very frustrating. You just have a little thing to sew. Naturally, it shouldn't be a project that should stress you. You have a very decent machine at that. Ideally, you've thought to yourself, you only need 10 minutes for this project, but at the end of the day, you end up spending like 2 hours simply because your fabric just would not let you do anything. Fortunately enough, cotton doesn't have this problem. If I have a cotton fabric, I don't have to go through this method I'm about to show you. It's just as simple as taking your fabric, throwing it on your machine. It doesn't matter the kind of thread you are using. Cotton will definitely not cause you stress. But the problem is you can't only be sewing on cotton fabric. There's going to come a time in your sewing career where you have to actually work with other kind of fabrics, and lycra is one wicked fabric to actually work with. And when it happens, all hope is not lost. This video is meant to show you exactly what you need to do to solve this problem. The beautiful thing is that the things that you need to solve these problems are just basic things that you wouldn't even have thought was a solution to the problems that you have. One of the things that you can actually use in this case is a paper tape. Yes, a paper tape. This is something you can easily lay your hand on any of the supermarkets, and the beautiful thing is that it's very, very cheap. It's not expensive. For a few dollars or a few euros, you can actually get this. If you don't have this in a supermarket close to you, one place I really do know that you would definitely get it will be on Amazon. So do make sure to check it out. The next thing you'll be needing is just printing paper. See, this is an A4 printing paper. You could also use newspaper depending on what you have available to you, but I really do want to think that printing paper is very, very effective because papers are pretty much soft. This is not the hard paper. If you decide to use any other kind of paper, ensure that you are using something like a newspaper that is not so strong, also not so hard. Because if it's too hard, then you'll be faced with a new kind of problem, which is everything, which is your fabric and the paper might be too hard for your sewing needle. And if you are not careful, you might end up breaking your machine. Enough of the talking. I'm just going to hop onto my machine to show you step by step how you can actually pull this off. And then we'll come back again and just do a brief roundup. So now that you're on your machine, the first thing you want to do is to decide on the method you want to use. You can either use the paper tape method or the paper method. So the first thing you want to do is to grab your scissors and go ahead and trim your paper just like that. You're going to make just a long cut on the paper because we actually need this paper to be in strips. So you can have that as a first strip. And I'm going to go ahead and cut a second strip just like that. It doesn't matter the width. The main thing is that you have the paper all in strips just like that, because what we are attempting to do is to place it on the fabric so that the machine would have a little bit of pressure on the fabric to enable us sew it. Now that you have the paper cut out like that in strips, and this is the difficult fabric that we have been trying to sew. So what I want to do is just to demonstrate to you what you can actually do if you have this kind of situation. So place your fabric on your machine just like that. This is just for demonstration purposes so that you see. And then you're going to grab your strip of paper like that and place it on it. And with this, your presser foot has a little bit of pressure on the fabric, because the problem is the presser foot that you have and the plate right here is not actually defaulted for making or for sewing on this kind of stretchy fabric. If you look at this fabric, it's very elastic. This is why your machine is not able to handle the task. But when you have paper on the presser foot just like that, then you are giving a little bit of pressure to the fabric as well as to the presser foot and the plate. And in this way, you can gently sew down on your fabric. All right, if you look at the way it's going very smoothly. And the beautiful thing is that it's not even dragging the fabric all together. So if you want to use the paper method, like I said, it's up to you. If you take a look at what I have done now, I'm just going to cut it so that you can actually see. If you take a look at what we've done, first we've made a very clean stitch on the fabric and we have not damaged the elasticity of the fabric, because if I were to sew directly on this material, then you have a situation where the material is all stretched out and it doesn't look so flat like this. So if you've done that, the next thing you want to do now is to go ahead and remove your paper. So just like that, you can actually peel it off. Peel it off gently. This is the reason why the paper shouldn't be so strong, because if it's not so strong, then it's very easy to peel off just like that. All right? So you're going to peel everything off gently, and then the only thing that will be left would then be just your stitch. Take it easy. Peeling it may be a little bit tricky, because if you pull it off so fast, you might end up ruining all the things you have done. So you just want to take it off like that, slowly but surely. It might take you a little bit of time to get used to removing the paper, but if you, like I said, have a soft paper, not super strong, also not super soft, because if it's too soft, then it's not going to do exactly what we want the paper to do, which is add some pressure on the fabric. All right? As you can see, we have removed paper from the fabric. We have a very clean stitch both at the front and at the back of the stretchy fabric. So this is an effective way to sew on stretchy fabric. The second method is the use of this paper sellotape right here. And what I want to do is just to go ahead and cut off a little bit of the sellotape. Just like we cut off the papers, we're going to also cut the paper tape. We're not going to use the whole tape just like that. So what I have is I just have like 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter of paper tape. So what I want to do is to go ahead and place this paper tape on my presser foot just like that. Then I'm going to drop the presser foot so that it almost looks like the same thing that we did with the paper. In this case, we are actually just having a paper sellotape that's going to stick on your presser foot. So you can actually go ahead to sew like this, because if I raise my presser foot, the fabric is raising up, if you can see. But I can also go ahead and make sure that this is actually sticking just like that on my presser foot, just to make sure that it doesn't fall off while using it. So now that that is on my presser foot, I want to go ahead and attempt to sew my fabric. I'm just going to grab a section of the difficult fabric and I'm going to place it underneath. It's looking exactly like what the paper did, and then we're just going to go ahead and start to make your stitches. All right, in any case, doesn't matter the method you are using, always make sure you sew gently. Don't be in a hurry. You might still have a situation where if you are too fast, the thread might break. But if you just take this stitch slowly, just like I'm doing it right now, you will notice that no stitch is being missed and the machine is just having a beautiful time sewing this fabric. I'm just going to take it out so that you can actually see how it looks like. Actually, I do prefer this method because I don't have to start to deal with peeling off paper, which might take a little bit of time. This is just exactly how it looks like if you have sewn it. And if you look, the material has comfortably sewn this stretchy, difficult material. The stitches are not broken and everything looks so clean and relaxed. All right, so now that you are aware of 2 effective methods to overcome this nagging problem that you've had for a very, very long time, using items as basic as just a paper tape as well as a printing paper, I really do want to think that from now on, your sewing project, it doesn't matter the fabric, be it lycra or any other kind of slippery fabric, you should be able to do justice to it without thinking if your machine will be able to handle the sewing project that you have. I hope this video helps you. If it does, go ahead and click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ensure that you turn on the notification bell so that you are informed the next time I drop a similar content like this. Until I see you again, peace.